So now it's Christmas time. The new team has been together for almost a year and they're going out to celebrate together. Jean's there, she's hanging out with Scott. They go to the Rockefeller Center, they're watching all the ice skaters. And Jean's trying to get Scott to let his guard down. I mean, he's still like talking about work the whole time, and she's like, please, can we just have a nice time? They go to a nice restaurant together, and while they're having their romantic moment, as always, it's ruined.
Jean!
Oh my God, no! It can't be them! Not them!
And these guys are all new Sentinels. They are even more strong than they were before. And so the X-Men go to fight these Sentinels, okay? But during the battle, Jean, Wolverine, and Banshee are all snatched up and spirited away. Okay, and then nobody knows where they've gone to. And of course, Cyclops is horrified that his girlfriend has been captured, a girlfriend who just recently decided to get out of the superhero game and who has been sucked back into these crazy antics of this war between mutants and humans. Totally sucks. It ruined their fucking Christmas fun time party.
Christmas is ruined!
Ruined! No presents for anybody! Meanwhile, the professor is also having a nice vacation moment. He's in Florida, he's doing some fishing, he's out on the freaking boat, and then a Sentinel attacks his ass too. Okay, and takes him, snatches him as well, and also flies off with him. Cut to an orbiting space station where Jean Grey, Wolverine, and Banshee are all tied up. And you have Dr. Stephen Lang confronting them. He's the one who's been behind this whole Sentinel attack.
Who's that? What's his deal?
Okay, so Dr. Stephen Lang, he works for the government. He is a pioneer in robotics and in genetic mutation. And he also happens to hate mutants and want to get rid of them. So he has gotten into the Sentinel building game, and he has built the Mark III Sentinel. Okay.
Ooh, that sounds serious.
It is serious, I guess. It's just like each time they make a new Sentinel and they make them a little bit more badass and harder to beat.
But why start with the X-Men?
Because the X-Men have been the most effective mutant opposition to the Sentinels. Because you, Cyclops, and Xavier are the heart and soul of the X-Men.
So he's like, I gotta take out the X-Men so they stop taking out the Sentinels, and then there'll be nothing holding the Sentinels back, and then they can just do their job. Now, of course, the Sentinels were developed in tandem with the United States government in order to eliminate the mutant threat to humanity.
This project of yours, 6 years of your life, $1 billion in illegal appropriations, and for what? Just so you can kidnap a few lousy mutants?
Yes! Kidnap them! Secure these mutant specimens for in-depth examination, so that mankind will at last know its true enemy!
Over the next few issues, Cyclops and the rest of the X-Men would eventually track the missing X-Men to a secret space station run by Dr. Stephen Lang. Dr. Peter Corbeau, a friend of Xavier, sneaks the X-Men onto the space shuttle using his mission of studying solar flares as a guise. The X-Men are then forced to crash land the space shuttle into the station.
So here goes nothing. Geronimo!
And after a long, drawn-out battle with the Sentinels, the X-Men are finally able to free their captured teammates.
I'll deal with Mr. Lang personally!
Leaving so soon, Lang? That's awful rude of you. But then again, what else can we expect from a murdering coward?
I'm a man, Cyclops, which is more than you'll ever be, you mutant swine!
And Dr. Lang is killed when he dramatically crashes his attack pod into a wall.
The controls are jammed, I can't! Help me, somebody! X-Men, help me! I'm heading right for the
Now here's where things get really intense. So now that the X-Men have successfully rescued their team members and defeated Dr. Lang, they're ready to go back down to space. But they encounter a major problem in their ability to get home safely.
What is it?
Okay, so there is a life cell that they were all supposed to get in that was going to shield them from this massive radiation, while the computer system piloted them back down to Earth. Okay, they had an autopilot. But apparently they damaged the autopilot when they crash landed into the space station. So now they're like totally fucked, okay? Dr. Corbeau is the only one who can physically fly them down, but the thing is like he's gonna be killed by the radiations.
One of you might survive the flare, but you can't pilot the shuttle. We need someone who can do both,
and there's no such animal.
So Jean Grey then makes the decision. She takes the piloting information from Dr. Corbeau, uploads it into her mind, and says, you guys, I'll pilot it back. I'm gonna use my telekinetic powers to try to get the radiation to stay away from me, and you guys get in the life cell. And everyone knows that this is a suicide mission.
Isn't Cyclops gonna stop him?
Are you crazy, Jean? Since when are you a qualified astronaut?
He tries. In fact, he is so upset that she has to essentially turn his brain off, and she's just like, take him away. Like, he can't handle this.
But Cyclops won't allow that.
Well, he didn't have much of a choice in the matter. And even Wolverine comes up to her. He's like, what are you trying to get Martyr of the Year, Jeannie? And she tells him to go fuck himself. And she's like, don't fucking talk to me, you little weirdo. And he's like, okay, fine. And he goes away. And then even Storm comes to her. And she's like, not you too, Storm. And Storm's like, no. I understand what you're doing. I just want you to know that I love you. And gives her a hug. So, like, helps to give her strength, you know, because Storm's good like that. So time is running out. Dr. Corbeau and the X-Men enter the life cell while Jean pilots it back down to Earth. And for a moment, she's successfully doing it. But as things go on, she keeps getting hit with just wave of radiation after wave of radiation after wave of radiation. And her powers are not strong enough to save her. And she can no longer fend it off with her telekinesis. 27 minutes to Earth's atmosphere. Not long at all. Her hair is falling out. Her dress has been bleached green. I mean, she's dying. And the only thing keeping her alive is her will to save her friends and her lover. Okay, that's the only thing that's driving her. And she should be dead at this point. I mean, the radiation has just desiccated her body into a little withered skeleton. And yet her will, her desire to save her friends is so overwhelming and so powerful that she's essentially keeping herself alive and keeping her systems going when she's fucking hemorrhaging and just falling apart. The cellular bonds are dissolving that's holding her together. And if she wasn't in weightless space, her heart would have fucking exploded. And she knows that she's not going to make it. And Jean is aware that she's dying. I mean, she knows it. She knows that this is the end for her. And in her final moment, she calls out, you know, someone, anyone, my God, help me. And her prayer is answered by the Phoenix Force. The Phoenix makes an offer to Jean Grey and says essentially that if you offer me part of your being and you bond your essence with me, I will make you invulnerable and you will be able to save your friends. But it also tells her that the power that it's giving her is a power that can warm her as well as destroy her, and that this fire that he's offering her always consumes. And she accepts, and she says to save the X-Men, she would dance with the devil himself, and that she also wants to live. So back on Earth, the shuttle enters the atmosphere and crash lands in Jamaica Bay. All of the X-Men, they leave the life cell, they swim up to the surface, and Scott's freaking out. I mean, he's like, Jean, where's Jean? We gotta find Jean. And then all of a sudden, the water starts swirling and bubbling, and then Jean pops out of the friggin' Jamaica Bay. She's flying, which she's never done that before, and she says to them, "Hear me, X-Men. No longer am I the woman you knew. I am fire and life incarnate. Now and forever, I am the Phoenix!" So if the Phoenix is essentially a thought being, okay, you have Jean Grey on the other side, who, you know, obviously is a mere mortal woman, but she also has the mutant powers of both telepathy and telekinesis, okay? She both can tap into other people's psionic energies and also use her psionic energies to physically move things in the real world. So it makes sense that the energy thought being in the universe would want to attach itself and bond with Jean Grey in order to give itself a physical manifestation so it can experience life on the physical plane, because that's the thing about the Phoenix. Even though it is life and fire incarnate, it is not able to experience those things because it doesn't have a physical being. And then she dramatically passes out, falls back into the water. Her friends swim her ashore and take her to the hospital because she is messed up. And they don't know what's wrong with her, and she's talking crazy and flying, and it's fucking crazy. For the X-Men, they are super confused as to what happened to Jean. But to the universe at large, this event is of cosmic significance. The Phoenix is a primordial force whose intent is to guard all creation in the universe and to guard the M'Kraan crystal. Throughout the centuries, there have been many hosts to the Phoenix Force, and when one is possessed by the Phoenix, it is certain it will bring death and rebirth on a massive scale.